it down. Your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, your body knows how to break it down. You take a bite of something yummy, and the destination of that food is your tummy. Your teeth and mouth begin to chew. Then the enzymes and amino acids do what they do. They start to break it down, break it down. Your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, the answer is easily found. Break it down, break it down. Your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, your body knows how to break it down. From the esophagus, the small intestine. Next up is the large intestine. Food is running through your body like a train. The breaking down of your food is helped by your brain. Break it down, break it down. Your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, the answer is easily found. Break it down, break it down. Your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, your body knows how to break it down. When the question is digestion, your body knows how to break it down. 9 bites.
The truth about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can be good and bad. It's the kind of carbohydrates you consume, not the number, that becomes a reflection of your weight. Contrary to popular belief, overweight people don't eat more carbohydrates than those of normal weight, but are more inclined to eat an excess of refined carbohydrates, such as white bread and pasta, which trigger a rapid spike in blood sugar. Refined carbohydrates add on extra pounds through their high glycemic index, which means they cause a quick surge in blood sugar. The sugar is then stored in muscle, and if it is not used, it turns into fat. On the contrary, other carbohydrates such as whole grains, fruits, and vegetables don't have high glycemic index.
Carbohydrates are the main fuel source for many cells, including those in the brain and nervous system, the red blood cells, and those which make up the body's muscles. Carbohydrates are the fuel for all cells in the form of blood glucose and are stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen. The purpose of carbohydrates is to provide energy. The availability of carbohydrate energy prevents the body from breaking down muscle tissue to use as fuel. Carbohydrates have 6 major functions within the body: providing energy and regulating blood glucose, sparing the use of proteins for energy, breakdown of fatty acids and preventing ketosis, biological recognition processes, flavor and sweeteners, and dietary fiber. Carbohydrates are the most abundant of the 4 major classes of biomolecules, which also include proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Carbohydrates and their derivatives play major roles in the working process of the immune system, fertilization, pathogenesis, blood clotting, and development. Once eaten, the body breaks down carbohydrates into simple sugars. These sugars are absorbed into the bloodstream. When we eat foods containing carbohydrates, digestive enzymes in the mouth, saliva, the stomach, and the intestines rapidly break down the carbohydrates into simple sugar, then ultimately glucose. The glucose is then absorbed through the walls of the intestine into the bloodstream. It is then either distributed to cells and muscles with the help of insulin for immediate use, or retained as an energy reserve in the liver and muscles in the form of glycogen, or stored as body fat. Certain carbs benefit digestion by providing nutrients for healthy bacteria in the gut. In addition, they benefit calcium levels by increasing calcium absorption from food. Some cell tissues, such as the brain, rely on glucose from the carbs to help with brain function. Low-carb diets result in a reduction of brain function. Healthy carbohydrates provide energy to the body and contain high amounts of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Examples include fruits, vegetables, potatoes, beans, bran, rice, and breads, cereals, and pastas made with whole grains. Unhealthy carbohydrates provide energy to the body but have no nutritional value otherwise. Some examples are refined and processed foods such as bread and baked goods made with white flour. A good rule of thumb to remember is that good carbs are usually those made in nature, and bad carbs are usually the ones produced by humans. This is an important distinction to make when looking at low-carb diets, which promote reduction in the consumption of grains and starches in favor of protein. The result of this is a reduction in insulin levels used to metabolize sugars and an increase in the use of fat for energy.
Crackers, pasta, and bread, just to name a few. Carbs are the most common source of energy in everything from plants to humans, albeit in different forms. The two basic types are complex carbs and simple carbs. Let's start with the simpler ones, shall we? Simple carbohydrates tend to be more in sugars, which, as we all know, show up in yummy stuff like cake, candy, soda, honey, cupcakes, cookies, you get the picture. However, they also occur naturally in milk and fruits. Now, some people say that simple carbohydrates are unhealthier than starches, and I'd like to dispel that myth right now. It's true that we need more complex carbohydrates in our diets, but it isn't that they are healthier. Naturally occurring simple carbohydrates are just as healthy as complex ones. It's the refined carbs, like the white sugar granules that we use in baking, that we need to look out for, as this is the stuff that gives simple carbs the reputation of bad carbs. Now, the most basic simple carbohydrate is called glucose. Basically, its job is to supply the body with quick energy, so this means that it is quickly and relatively easily broken down. It's naturally occurring in fruits and is even made by the body in breaking down other foods. Glucose supplies heat and energy to the body, and any that isn't used immediately is converted back to glycogen. When energy is needed, it is simply converted back to glucose. Glucose, of course, is not the only simple carbohydrate there is. A few others are fructose, which is known as fruit sugar, maltose, which is found in grains, and lactose, which is the principal carb found in milk. We won't go into too much detail with these. What's the major difference between simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates, you ask? They are actually surprisingly similar on a basic level. They both, for example, provide 4 calories per gram. However, the typical simple carbohydrate contains refined sugar, and the foods therein contain few to no essential vitamins, and because they lack them, simple carbohydrates are more likely to be converted into fat and stored. Complex carbohydrates, on the other hand, tend to be in foods rich in vitamins. They are packed with fiber, and as a result, make you feel fuller longer, since they take longer to digest. Let's look at these next. When I say complex carb, by the way, I don't mean this kind. I'm referring to, of course, starches. These are the ones we tend to be more familiar with. These are oatmeal and potatoes and cereal type carbs. About 60% of our calories per day should come from carbs, as illustrated on our handy-dandy pyramid.
Let me tell you about digestion, cause I know food is your obsession. So before you take your next bite, I'ma answer all your questions. It starts with salivation, this is when you get expectation. It's like you use your imagination, it's like you can almost taste it. Chemical and mechanical breakdown, this is when your food is broken down. Your saliva and your teeth come together, chop this food around. But there's no hurry, there's no fuss, it's going through the esophagus. That's what happens to you and me. I bet you can't believe it, how this food is going through me. It defines gravity. I even get some energy. I bet you can't believe it, How this food is going through me, it defines gravity. I even get some energy, yeah. If you're hearing what I'm saying, let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. If you're getting what I'm saying, let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. The food is in my stomach, yo. Nothing can stop the flow, 'cause it breaks down the food with gastric acid. This is what I know. The small intestine is cool, where my food is now passing through. In this long thin tube, there's absorption of nutrients too. To the large intestine, I knew that was your next question. I'm almost done with this case. Absorption of water is what takes place. Excretion of solids is next. Your anus is where it's heading next. You could figure out the rest. What a mess. I bet you can't believe it. How this food is going through me. It defines gravity. I even get some energy. I bet you can't believe it. Ooh, ooh, it's going through me. It defines gravity. I even get some energy.